Well, it is time once again for our Major League Baseball power rankings. So let's take a look at where the top 10 teams in baseball currently stack up. As you can see here, there is no change at the top for the Tampa Bay Rays, even though they got absolutely demolished in their game against the Blue Jays 20-1, because the Rays are still a very good team. And also, no aggregate scoring in baseball. It does not carry over to the next game. Jesse, Rangers here make a big leap up to number 2. Thoughts on that?
We have to start respecting the Texas Rangers, Derek.
Yeah.
We talked about them last week too, but the closer I looked at this, the more I was like, I don't think number 4 is high enough. I don't think number 3 is high enough.
Sure.
I wasn't quite ready to call them the best team in the league, because even though the Rays haven't played quite as good a baseball lately, I still think the Tampa Bay Rays are pretty clearly the best team overall in the league right now.
The Rangers just did it without pieces, and now those pieces have returned, and they're even stronger than they were before. So they are definitely a force to be reckoned with in the AL.
They have a run differential of plus 112. Which is insanity at this point in the season. I mean, they're on pace to go like plus 350 by the end of the year, which literally is like averaging to win every game you play by more than 2 runs. That is completely unheard of. Their run differential is 2 runs shy of the Rays. The Rays are plus 114. The Rangers are plus 112. So just insane stuff from the Texas Rangers. I mean, there's some part of me that's a little bit skeptical, just because I don't know if Adolis Garcia is going to drive in 175 runs like he's on pace to.
Yeah,
I don't know that Jonah Heim is like this star catcher that he appears to be. There are some guys there who are breaking out that we haven't really seen break out before, but the just raw performance that they've put out there is absolutely spectacular, and I think deserves a lot of credit. I have both the Braves and the Dodgers falling 1 spot this week. Both of those teams are a little banged up right now.
And after what is it what happened to the Dodgers? Because obviously with the Dodgers pitching being as limited as it is, and them having to go to the minor league players that they have, I feel like even though they won the series against the Braves, they deserve to be ranked under them. The Braves are still a more complete team, and I think the Dodgers are trending in the other direction, which obviously is a great thing for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, the Dodgers are just really banged up right now. Not having Julio Urias or Dustin May for the time being. Obviously, Walker Buehler is going to miss most or more likely all of this season for them as well. That's a huge blow to that team. Their starting rotation depth is really being tested. They've had to turn to Gavin Stone and Bobby Miller, who are 2 young exciting pitching prospects in the Dodgers organization. So yeah, we'll just kind of have to see where that goes for them. But there's a lot more volatility right now with that team than there normally is. Do I have the Orioles too low, Derek? They're 32-17 is number 6.
You and I disagreed. Like, there's a lot of this that you and I agreed about. I had the Astros and the Orioles both a little bit higher, maybe not nestled in between.
That's fair.
The Braves and the Dodgers. The Astros have just been playing incredibly well right now. They've been just smacked. Like their run differential as of late is really the reason why. But I mean, a lot of times power rankings, we don't want to get too crazy from one week to the next just because a team kind of broke out. I just feel like the Astros kind of turned it on, and now they are the team that I expect to see of them this year. Every team in the AL East deserves to be on this list, and I'm not. I mean,
You think the Red Sox too?
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if the Blue Jays really deserve technically to be on here, but they're all just playing so well. It's hard not to have them on this list. The Yankees have been playing incredibly well.
Yeah.
The Orioles are just incredible. They're an incredible team, and I mean, the fact that the Rays still have such kind of a lock on that division right now, when the Orioles, like, it's just absurd. The AL East is just crazy right now.
It is. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. The Red Sox are entering this series with the D-backs having lost 4 in a row. So they've actually struggled a little bit lately. And the Blue Jays, I think last week when we did this, were like 25-19 or something, and now they're 26-25.
2-8 in their last 10 games.
Yeah. Yeah, which is, I still feel like the Blue Jays are a pretty good team. Alek Manoah has really struggled. That's been a big part of what's gone wrong for them this season. Their starting rotation hasn't been as steady as a lot of people expected it to be. But yeah, I mean, I guess we should talk about the D-backs too. The D-backs, they have it at number 8 on the list. Yeah. I had them number 10 last week. So Even despite what happened on Wednesday and the fact that they probably could have a better record than they do, that we are ranking them as the 8th best team in the league, which is crazy. 50 games into the season that they're at that level.
It doesn't feel like it's an overranking, though. I feel like they deserve it. They have the 3rd best record in the National League. I think that the games that they've lost were heartbreaking because they were in control of those games, right? That's the reason why we're mad about it. They were against opponents that the Diamondbacks could beat. But realistically, like we said before, the Phillies were in the World Series last year. I mean, should we really be putting the Phillies in that category of like the Diamondbacks should have swept them and there shouldn't have been a question about it, right? Like,
Trey Turner is just not going to be that bad of a player the whole year. I maintain that some of the guys who are struggling over there, I think the Phillies will turn. I don't know if the Phillies are a playoff team, but I think the Phillies are a pretty respectable team that will probably win more than they lose when it's all said and done.
The thing about the Diamondbacks is they feel like they are not afraid to make the moves that they need to make to get better, right? Somehow shedding themselves of Madison Bumgarner and that constant question once every 5 days about what version of Mad Bum are we going to see? Is he going to be able to go out there and be a competitive pitcher? Is he going to be able to give this team a chance to win?
Yeah.
Like, that was a tough decision, and it was a decision that, if I'm being honest, I never thought this team would actually make. So the fact that they did it just really shows how committed they are to, like, moving beyond the mistakes that were made in the past and trying to make this team right now in the now be a contender, be a winner. And that's why they deserve to be in the top 10, because their record is that the games they've lost were games that they should have won and were in control of. And I mean, hopefully as the season goes on, they know who they can rely on in the bullpen, and they know that they can turn those games around and not have that happen to them as often.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things unfold over the course of the year.
Basically, we're saying they should have gone almost basically undefeated on this 9-game road trip. Is what we're saying.
I mean,
right?
But that's sort of the case, right?
Yeah,
like they went,
it was possible.
They went 6-3 on this road trip, which is a good road trip. But it sort of feels like they should be 8-1 because two of those losses were extremely winnable games. The D-backs. The one thing I will say is the D-backs are only plus 15 from a run differential standpoint. So being 29-21 with a plus 15 run differential feels like the D-backs are maybe overperforming a few games. I think their Pythagorean win-loss expected record thing is 26-24 right now. So that says that they're overperforming by 3 games, which you can kind of see where that comes from. The D-backs are winning a lot of pretty close games, and the games that they are losing, I mean, obviously, they've lost a couple tough one-run games in recent weeks, but they also lost to the Pirates 13-3 last week, whereas they haven't really had as many blowout wins as they have losses. So, I mean, I'm just still blown away at the fact that we're talking about power rankings and that we're having a conversation about where in the top 10 to put the Diamondbacks.
It's a good feeling, right? It's
pretty crazy.